The blowtorch is an incredibly versatile tool. The convenient size and ease with which it creates a blistering hot point of flame can really feel a bit like magic. While the modern blowtorch, with its pressurized tank of propane, butane, acetylene, or other gas-state fossil fuels, may seem like a quintessentially modern tool, the origins of the blowtorch actually has a much more mysterious past, and goes back much farther than you may think, likely many hundreds of years, and possibly thousands. The essence of the blowtorch is simple and elegant, the near-perfect combination of oxygen with a reducing agent or fuel source projected into a jet. The characteristic blue cone of flame is the result of this almost perfect combination. I'd like to experiment with making a blowtorch the original way, using simple and historical methods, with primarily only natural or scrap materials. The historical blowtorch, or as it more commonly would have been referred to as a blow lamp or blow table, involved an oil lamp that the user literally blows on with a metal pipe. First things first, I have to make an oil lamp. Pretty much any design of lamp should do, so I decided to try to replicate my favorite from history. This is a 5th century BC Greek oil lamp displayed at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's sort of a donut-like design, and it immediately stands out to me whenever I see it. It was an exceedingly popular design in its day, with numerous examples of the same type turning up all over the Mediterranean. If you've seen my other videos, you can probably guess that I'm making mine using the alchemist's clay recipe I've previously described. Unfortunately, I've lost most of the footage of actually making the oil lamp, but I managed to salvage a bit of me applying a liquid clay slip. Slips with alkaline chemical additives were used to color clay in ancient Greece, and I thought it would be fun to experiment with this here. Sadly, I must have done it terribly wrong, as my slip caused the clay to crack in a few places and did nothing to color the lamp in the end. I'll talk more about this process in a future video if I ever actually get it to work. The chemistry is really interesting, and it should have cool results if it's done properly. Despite my slip's failure, I still wanted to color it, so while it was still burning hot, I dunked it in wood shavings. Because the clay is hot, it's expanded quite a bit and is able to both pyrolytically break down the wood and capture the carbon released, making a deep black soot-like coating that will be made permanent once it cools. For now though, after being fired, despite my many mistakes, it's good enough to make a rough and ready prototype blowtorch. Now I'm going to make a stand from a hunk of firewood for the lamp to sit on, along with a simple adjustable mechanism to hold the blowpipe steady. The blowpipe could be blown on by the user's mouth or by a foot-powered bellows under the table. For this one, I'm going to use my own lungs, but in the future I want to experiment with the bellows technique. It's difficult to say for certain when the blowtorch was actually invented, but research points to the use of the blowtorch, or specifically the blow lamp, emerging from the 1300s to the 1400s for the purpose of glassworking in Renaissance Italy, as part of the flourishing glassworking culture of Venice, where the new blow lamps allowed for the melting of small amounts of glass far more fuel efficiently than with traditional wood-burning glass furnaces. This practice was known as lampworking, and this time scale means the technology was likely known to people like Leonardo da Vinci and other Renaissance-era makers. It was difficult to find sources with specific evidence as to the emergence of lampworking. However, the Kerning Museum of Glass has had by far the best resources I could find, and I'll leave links in the description to an article and a lecture, which were very helpful in finding information for this project. However, the main source I used in this project was the same as that which I used in the last project, Michael Faraday's very own Chemical Manipulation. This book describes the use of the blow lamp in the lab. Not only did Faraday himself use blow lamps directly for his experiments, but he also used them to work glass for making scientific apparatus. I think this quote of Faraday's aptly describes his feeling towards the technique. The chemist does not possess a more ready, powerful, and generally useful instrument than the mouth blowpipe, and every student should early accustom himself to its effectual use and application. This is actually part of a scientific glassworking tradition that goes all the way back to the emergence of the blow lamp, and there's evidence for alchemists from the 1300s onwards using blow lamps in their own workshops to make their own equipment. In many ways, the efficiency and resourcefulness of the blow lamp democratized glassworking, and even made cottage industries of lampworking glassmakers that flourished in the 1600s, and the lampworking techniques, specifically for making scientific equipment, remained prevalent into the 1800s and are the direct ancestors of modern scientific glassworking and flameworking. The types of scientific instruments made by lampwork were diverse. Significantly, the first microscopes, such as that invented by Antony von Leeuwenhoek, were built with lenses made on a blow lamp. The process to make the lenses is described in Robert Hooke's book, Micrographia. These first microscopes enabled the discovery of cells and microbial life, which was a necessary innovation for the later discovery of germ theory that revolutionized medicine. I love microscopy, and in the future, I'd like to try to build one of these early microscopes using those same techniques. Another reason I chose my Greek style of oil lamp was because the hole in the middle is intended to make a place for a stand to pass through, in order to keep the lamp nice and fixed in place, which is perfect for this application. Unfortunately, instead of being made by masterful ancient Greek hands, mine was made with my own clumsy hands, and the irregular shape meant I had to whittle down the top of the stand far more than I would have liked. But regardless, I'm pretty hopeful I can make it work, at least for a proof of concept. Beyond lenses, scientific glassware, and instruments, the blow lamp was used directly in the lab for chemical experiments and mineralogical studies. Faraday himself described in a lecture on platinum that he was able to use the blowpipe, along with a candle, to melt platinum metal, which is an incredible feat, given that platinum is one of the highest melting point metals there is. Along with this, blow lamps could be used to solder or braze metal, or fine metal instruments. It really is an incredibly versatile tool. However, the elegant simplicity of the tool has a side effect of making strict dating difficult. Oil lamps have existed since the Stone Age, and are likely the only parts of the torch that would last in the archaeological record. So figuring out just how old this tool could be is a little tricky. There is some archaeological evidence that could suggest the blow lamp may be far older than the Renaissance and stretch back to the ancient world. This evidence comes in the form of glass figurines and small vessels that appear all across ancient history and appear to be worked in a very similar way to how Renaissance lampworkers made their decorative pieces. However, this alone isn't enough to prove the existence of the blow lamp in the ancient world, as there are other methods of heating small amounts of glass that are well accounted for. That said, as I showed in my ancient forge video, invigorating flame with your own lungs goes far back into ancient history, specifically in Egypt, and it is possible that at some point this technology was miniaturized to make a blow lamp. But again, to my knowledge, there is no historical writing confirming the existence of this technique in the ancient world. So as of writing this, I personally believe the true origin of the blow lamp is in around the 1300s. What really makes this technology interesting to me is the fuel. Unlike modern torches that use gas-state fossil fuels, these earlier blow lamps used everything from natural seed oils to animal fats. This means the fuel is both renewable and far more resourceful. It would be easy enough to use this lamp with leftover kitchen grease or other waste sources. The adjustable armature on the stand is so that I can move the blowpipe to various positions and then lock it into place. The position of the pipe relative to the flame determines the shape and type of jet produced. A focused jet is perfect for melting metal and soldering, whereas a broader licking flame is sometimes better for warming glass. Along with this, a blue cone is oxidative and will color or rust metal, whereas a yellow licking flame is reductive and will leave behind a trail of soot on whatever is bathed in it. The blowpipe I made comes straight from Faraday's descriptions and has a nozzle at a right angle to the body of the pipe, a short distance from the end. The extra length of pipe leaves a spot for the humidity of your breath to condense and collect so that you don't end up accidentally spitting on your lamp flame. The nozzle becomes extremely tight towards the end, though I didn't manage to make mine quite as tight as Faraday suggests. For a lamp wick this size, the nozzle diameter should be just a little over 1/100th of an inch. This tight nozzle creates a Venturi effect that will make a fast and powerful jet. It just so happens the recommended sizes of blowpipe nozzles correspond almost exactly to the standard sizes of 3D printer nozzles, so in the future I think I'll just solder one of my spare printer tips onto the end of the blowpipe. With everything set up, it's finally time to test the blowtorch. First, I practiced a little, just adjusting the pipe and blowing a flame. But then I wanted to try something exciting, so I decided to ignite magnesium metal in the oxidative cone. It very quickly burst into a brilliant light, which speaks well for this lamp's ability to torch stuff. With that, I'm going to close out this video. Thanks so much for watching. I've got a lot of projects in the works, so please like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you have suggestions to make these videos more bearable, please leave a comment. It really means the world to me. Thanks again, and bye!